Hey everybody, Spider-Kel back once again for another DC chess collection review. Number 16 in the line, the Black Canary. Or just Black Canary without the... Black Canary, for me, a generic sort of character, not really one that holds any influential stead. Just another character, a really good one, and one that I quite enjoy reading about, and you know, her powers are always... I've always kind of like intrigued me, the fact that she can scream really loud and shatter everything. I think that's quite interesting. It's a bit different, but other than that, not really anything else about her. I find her quite generic. She's sometimes there in the background, or she's sometimes there in the foreground, but she doesn't ever really hold any appeal for me. She's just another character, really. So you can probably tell I'm not really very enthusiastic about this character, but I was interested in the figure because the Black Canary's... I've done it again. The Black Canary's usual costume is kind of like the black leather leotard, and then she has the stockings. And my thoughts were, how are they going to do this and make it look good? And how are they going to paint the stockings? I was kind of interested, especially considering that some figures you get, the paint job's pretty good. Well, a lot of them, they're very, very good. And then some of them, it's really quite poor. And I thought, this is a figure that could very easily be really, really good or very poor. And when I got it, I made my decision instantly on what I thought. And so let's get into the figure and find out what that decision was. And here we have the Black Canary figure, and as I said, I made my decision rather quickly. My decision was, I quite liked it. There's a lot of things about it that is not particularly good, but I think overall the way that they've done it is they've done a good job with it. We'll move through the different sort of areas of the figure, but first of all, go into the face. And the face is blurry. Okay, there we go. The face actually is a really, really good one. I think they've done a very good job with the face. For some reason, mine has, you can see from there, a massive dent in the nose. I don't know what's going on there. If it didn't have that dent, I think it would be a very, very good sort of piece. It's, I think you compare this to kind of like the likes of Catwoman, for example, and there's another one that springs to mind. Oh yeah, there's another one, but I haven't reviewed that one yet. So you compare it to Catwoman, and this face is a lot better. You know, Catwoman, as I said before, she looked like a 12-year-old girl sort of thing. It just didn't look right. This one, it has a really good look. Very, very good sculpt on the eyes, which is quite rare in these figures. Really nice sculpt on the lips. The nose, as I said, is just a shame about this little dent there. It bugs me. That really, really bugs me. But yeah, a really symmetrical face, and it's very, very nice. It's a very nice looking face. You get the hair as well, and it's pretty good. You know, it just flows to the back. There's not much really you can say about that. Nice colouring. I do like this design over this side. So that's pretty good. I like the costume they've gone for as well, with this jacket that goes over it. Kind of makes me think of the X-Men movies as well. Strangely enough, we like this black with the gold on the arms and around the edges there. It does make you think of like the Wolverine costume from the first X-Men movie. Well, all the X-Men movies really. And that obviously goes all the way down, and it's very nice. I do like that. And then you have obviously the black leotard with the zip going down the front, and again, that's pretty good. I do quite like that. And then, as I've said before, I was quite interested to see how they would do the stocking design. And what it feels like they've done is this is quite, you could probably hear there, this is all raised. So they've moulded it with like the stocking parts raised, and what I think they've probably done is painted the legs black and then washed over it with black, so that it's giving it this stocking effect. I think that's a really good idea. It's got its flaws there on her back right leg. A great big black paint splodge there, parts where it's scraped off and things like that. it does have its flaws, and I mean that back leg there is pretty bad, but I think they've done a pretty good job at it. You know, I mean, when you look at it close like this, you can see all the flaws, you can see what the problems are, but overall I think that's a very good idea, a really good way to do a stocking kind of look. And go down to the boots and you've got a pretty basic sort of black with the gold again. So overall I was quite impressed with it. I thought they did quite a good job. The more I looked at it, the more I started to think, I don't know, but I think it's basically because of this nose. As I said, if that wasn't there, I'd be quite impressed with it. And I do like this gold kind of trim that goes around it all the way through her gloves and so on. It just kind of gives it a bit of definition. Black Canary really is all black in her costume with a zip, and that would have been pretty dull, and you would never have been able to differentiate where her jacket starts and flows down and where the leotard starts. So that is a really good design, and nice buckle there and there. So overall, this was one that there's not a lot going for it, but at the same time, a lot of good detail and design has gone into this, and a lot of good thought has gone into it. So overall, I was kind of pleased. I know a couple of people have said that their Black Canary face is really bad. I think it's hit and miss. I know that recently I got a message from the Batman Awards, and he was saying that he's been quite lucky with all his faces. He's got a good collection of face sculpts, which fantastic. And you know, it's quite lucky, because I think it is hit and miss. A lot of people, when I did Catwoman's review, a lot of people said theirs was the same. Some people said mine's actually okay. So I think it is hit and miss, and I think my face sculpt is really good. It's just the nose, it's a little bit out. But never mind, it doesn't really detract from the figure itself. It is a very good piece. And oh, sorry, there is one thing you know, I didn't even go into this. There is one thing about this. I can't believe I almost missed this. That's shocking. This base is the most horrific base that I have gotten so far. That is just the worst paint job in all of them. It's horrendous, absolutely horrendous. It's supposed to be the silver with the black tint and like really kind of grey and stony looking. That is just, let's dip the base in a pot of silver paint and leave it like that. It's horrendous. And it stands out on the chessboard like a sore thumb. You'll probably see it in the transition later, at the end of the video. You'll see how much it stands out against the rest of them. It's shockingly bad. And I hope that none of the others are like this. I mean, does anyone else have a base that looks like this? Because that really annoys me, because when I got the figure and I looked at it and I said, oh, I quite like that. Then I got it out and I looked at the base and I was like, the hell is that? And it did put me off the figure for a while, and I was kind of, I bloody hate this figure. But it's not the figure I hate, it's the base. And it's just horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. And I nearly forgot about that. I think I'm out of touch, because I've missed a couple of weeks, I'm out of touch a little bit. But yeah, really good figure, good design on the stockings. I like the gold around the trim. What a horrible base. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed the review, everyone. Take care. I will see you again very soon for the next one. See you later, guys.
Knock, knock, Puddin'. Say hello to your new, improved, highly quick.